We have been very intentional about centering those that are furthest from justice and also showing up for affinities who needed FOCS support at a certain time. So for the most of 2020 and 2021, for us that meant Black people who are the farthest from justice, including queer, trans, with disabilities, and other marginalized identities. When the anti-Asian racism showed a spike, we showed up in events to support our Asian Pacific Islander families. So cross-racial solidarity means understanding each other's or one another's oppressions and showing up for one another when we need the others to show up for us and doing the same. With the FOCS model, we as parents are our children's first, and I would argue the most important educators. We are the ones who provide the foundation for these children. Research shows that children by the age of 9 or so already have their racial identity and racial conception of the world biases already absorbed. So we as parents have the most really we're the most important in affecting how they're going to absorb that. And if we show up in circles with other families of color, with other parents of color, and understand their struggle and their oppression, and they understand ours, and we do understand that this is all coming from the systemic racism upon which our society was built, and it's all through the lens of white privilege, we understand each other of suffering of various forms of racial oppression as opposed to being allowed to be pitted against one another. And I trust that this lesson is something that we pass on to our children, and they see us coming together in those communities, in those forums, and we model that for them. I would say Seattle is also pretty special in the way that different communities have shown up for racial justice throughout the years. So in the civil rights era here, African Americans and Native Americans, Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, people of Mexican ancestries formed cross-racial coalitions for cross-racial solidarity. So this is very, very much what being in Seattle as people of color is about, and we want to uphold and enhance that tradition for our kids.